All right, we got another segment here of Wet Your Palate. We got two special guests today. We got the father-son duo in the UFC, Gilbert and Elijah Smith. Man, father-son coaching team. They both have fought in the UFC. Super excited to have you guys. What were some of the highlights?
For me, man, it's showing off my dance moves, right?
Hell yeah!
I had a really good time talking about that, but also just kind of showcasing my son and kind of having him tell his story. That was the best part for me.
9-1 record, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think my favorite part was going over, tasting the wine, making our own, our bottles and stuff like that, doing the waxing, and just coming out here and just conversating with you guys, getting to know you guys better, letting us, tell stories about what we've been through and what we're going through and what's to come next.
Yeah, it was an honor to have you guys on. I gotta say, this episode is a power bomb, and if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you should know.
Yeah.
Tune in, man. This is wild. Love it. Great to have you guys on.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Peace.
When you make it to the UFC, you haven't done anything. Understand this. You haven't done anything. The only thing you have done is give yourself more opportunity to grow. But as far as money-wise, you are still broke. You are still broke.
Unless you know how to navigate your money.
Yeah. And market yourself and build a situation where actually companies will want to pay you to be like endorsement and sponsorships. But as far as getting paid from the UFC, you are still making pennies. It's just the way it is.
So when you say that, when you're first in the UFC, we're talking about your first contract.
Yeah, your first contract.
Because don't get us wrong. Like, this is your first fight. Your first contract is gonna be, of course, the most money that you ever made
Compared to fighting locally and regionally.
locally.
Okay.
But think about this. So my first 2 fights in the UFC, I had 2 fights in a year. So the first fight, and you can look this up. I don't even care. First fight on the contract is 10-10. Boom. Okay, you win. You get 20. But then you also got to pay out your coaches.
10% to your coaches. So now that's like, 2,000, right? So now you're down to 18. 10% to your manager. So that's another $2,000. So now you're down to about 16.
Yeah.
So boom.
And then IRS, you may give another 10, 20% to that. So you may be walking out of there about anywhere from $12,000 to $14,000.
Boom. So that's the first fight, right?
That's the first fight.
Yeah, that's the first
And
fight.
you can only get 2 fights a year?
No. If they schedule you, most people, because there's a lot of fighters on the roster.
Okay.
So to fit everybody in 1 year is kind of hard because there's only 40. I mean, this year there's only what they said. There's 42 UFC events.
44.
44. So to fit 700
With the
fighters,
new deal?
Yeah, with the new deal, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
So my second fight, now it goes up. Every time you win, you almost get like a little promotion. So
Yeah, it goes from $10,000 to $12,000. Now, mind you, this is almost everybody. It's almost everybody that gets signed to UFC, especially if you're coming off the Contenders or the Ultimate Fighter. First fight 10-10, second fight 12-12.
Yeah, so you sit there.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So and this is
So the
widely
first
known.
part-
So
sorry,
we're
the
not
first
letting out
fight's
no
10K.
crazy information.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the second fight is
It's 12.
12K.
Yeah, 12 to show, 12 to win.
And that's if you win both fights.
Yeah.
Yeah. If not, then you only get half.
Okay.
So lucky enough, I got the performance bonus, which is $50K. But let's take that out. All right. So boom. So your first fight, you walked away home with, let's say, what I want to say, maybe around like
$14,000.
14. Yeah, 14.
Yeah.
Your second fight, if you don't get the bonus, it's 12 and 12. So you walk away home with maybe
24, 18,000.
Yeah, 18,000.
Okay.
16 and 18,000. Say if you don't work if you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have
no
an
shit.
outside,
That's
yeah.
$28,000 in a year.
That's How do you live off of that?
And you can't train eating top ramen.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, like, so
Man.
the problem is if within a year you fought twice, you only made $28,000 cash take home. And that's not including the fact, like you said, you got to pay rent, you got to pay for your car, you got to pay cell phone, internet, you got to eat, and just have a little bit of fun. You realize that you are still freaking broke.
Yeah.
And you even more broke because people expect you to be balling.
Yeah.
So
So
also, I was
yeah,
thinking, what about
that's a good point.
medical?
So the
When
medical part is actually not too crazy because the medical part, after a fight, I mean, the UFC, they kind of check you out. If anything hurts, then they pay for it. So the medical part is
unless you get hurt in training.
Yeah, unless you get hurt in training,
then you're screwed.
Which a lot of fighters, they'll go into a fight hurt, and then after that, they're like, oh, I hurt myself in a fight, and then the UFC pays for it.
Yeah, but like the problem is if you made $28,000 and you are living off pennies now because like it's been a year and you want to fight and you got to fight and then you get hurt. That's even worse because now that's gonna push back the opportunity for you to fight again and for you to get paid again. And so you gotta stay smart and stay injury free, and then, so you can fight and get paid.
And then this is the part that a lot of fighters, I feel like, that get into the UFC, a lot of younger fighters who don't have a father to guide them, that they tend to forget taxes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Or how to just manage the money.
How to manage money and taxes, and then especially if you get the $50K bonus. What does that do?
People just go out and spend $50K and not realize that they got to pay the government.
Because it's not tax. You know, you get the $50K and it takes about 8 to 10 weeks for the $50K because they got to do your drug test, make sure that you weren't popping up on PEDs, and then once your test comes back, you know, clear. Then boom. Then one day you wake up, you check your account, damn. Yeah. Woo. What y'all? Yeah. Now, so after my fight, I want to tell you my big purchase after the fight. I did end up getting a new. I went out and got a new car. I got a Model Y 2026 Tesla,
which I was also against.
I thought you were gonna go for the Ram.
I was like, bro, you don't need that. You don't need that.
But check me out. I bought that before I even got the bonus money. So I was spending money that I knew I had. Like, I wouldn't go out there and spend the money that I didn't have. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, okay, I can afford it. It's doable. Before I got it before the tax deductions hit. I got a brand new car for, around $36,000. So it was easy. I was like, okay, this is good.
And it was actually a really good time to buy Tesla because it was a tax promotion.
Yeah, tax deduction.
Yeah. If you bought
there was the incentive to buy an electric
vehicle. So it was actually going to go away if you'd have waited like a month later.
Yeah. Okay.
So he had to buy it at that moment.
Well, now you're not paying for gas.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not. I can't remember the last time since I got the car. I haven't stopped by. If I stop by a convenience store, I'm just grabbing something to drink or some snacks or something like that. I
got a Bronco, and I'm like,
it's crazy. I got a car. Then he went out and got a car. I was like, bro, why you spend money you ain't got?
Hey, it's 80% if you win.
Well, see, the thing is, I have a business that actually do very well. My gym do very well. I got some other fighters. I got a bunch of members, and we kind of really built this up over the last 10 years. So, I mean, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something nice for myself, too.
Yeah.
And I got a brand new Bronco.
Yeah, a lot of my friends, they look at me like, oh, you're in the UFC, you're famous. No, they think I'm like Conor McGregor rich or John Jones. So I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes.
Yeah.
Pump the brakes. I'm not saying I got money, but I'm just saying
I'm not broke.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about that. Like, so for that road, because you mentioned, when do you start making some of that big money? And it was something about the third contract, fourth contract, and I think it finally popped in my head about like, this is like, and I was telling Joe, like, this is a contract game.
Yeah.
So it's like, right? And I don't know if you can go into that a little bit. Like,
so I mean, the contract. I mean, right now we're both still curious on what that looks like because I'm still on that first contract. But word around town is that once you get past your first contract, that's when the real money starts to hit, and it starts becoming like, okay, now I can go full time and becoming a fighter, and then now fighting 2 times a year, you can make a living with that.
Yeah,
hopefully.
That's what we're hoping for. Because like I said, that's kind
first and foremost, he needs to go out there. Like, and like our biggest thing is like we don't really talk about money. He's all right. He got a job. He got money. He got a bonus. The biggest thing, we need to go out there and perform. Once you perform, if you focus so much on money, you're worried about all these things, you're never going to do well. Yeah. You need to go out there, train your butt off, perform, and the money's going to come. Now, unfortunately, I get it with some of these fighters. They don't have the ability to have a second job, or they got no skills, whatever the case may be. So they living off of every dime from the UFC. That's tough. And I would tell fighters, make sure you have a backup plan. Yeah. Make sure you got something that's going to, even if you're doing Uber driving or you're doing bartending or you're a personal trainer.
I was doing Ubering for a little bit. Yeah, it was.
And you're over at Subaru?
Yeah, I was over it. But for like, because after I won the contract to the UFC, I want to say I quit my job for a little bit. I did, and I wanted to focus on my UFC debut. And within that time, I was, and I didn't need to, but I just felt like I'm so used to getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. Yeah. So as I'm not working, I'm seeing money leave the account, but ain't no money coming back in. So I'm like, shit, something's
He went back to his boss. Yeah, like, hey, boss, can I have that job back? That job that I quit.
So if you were to like boil it down for anybody considering the UFC, it's like you had mentioned maybe in the second contract you can actually go full time. You make enough money to actually go full time.
Unless the only other way that I could say that you could maybe go full time on the first contract is if you get two bonuses in a row.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like Makwan Maker. Yeah, he got 2 bonuses. But also, the biggest thing I would tell fighters is make sure you're marketing and promoting yourself. Build up your social media. Make companies want to come work with you, maybe sponsor you, maybe kind of help you finance this dream. Most fighters think all I have to do is show up to the gym and train, which is a big part of it. But you got to understand this is a business. Okay, no one cares about if you have 200 followers. You need to have a social media marketing promotion behind you so companies could come and try to work with you, because people understand if you have a lot of followers and if I have products that I want to sell, maybe we could collaborate and we both win.
Yeah.
But if you're not putting in the work, you're not promoting yourself, and you're wondering why no company wants to touch you and how you're staying broke, then it's on you.
Yeah.
I also want to give a shout out because you have a cigar.
Yeah. I want to give it. Yeah, you guys don't mind. Shout out to my guy Brian Smith at Triumph Cigar. We have my own signature cigar. It's called the Swift Cigar. So go ahead, you guys check that out. If you guys go to my page, there'll be a link in the bio. And yeah, go check them out. We start out at a 4-pack of cigars. Starts out at $60. They're about $15 a piece for the cigars.
Yeah.
If it's one of those things that this past year we've been really trying to push out and get more. I didn't realize how big the cigar community was.
Yeah.
I was like, we started.
Cigars and wine, baby.
Yeah. They go hand in hand.
The back porch, man. That's it.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Thanks, Art.
Hey, see, look, go.
Oh, yeah, Art.
Click
Go to cigars.
Click on cigars. And then there's a bunch of other UFC fighters that also have their signature cigars, like Aljamain.
We got O.J. Osborne,
you got Brian Battle.
Yeah.
You keep scrolling, and then you got that ugly kid right there.
I say I'm a good looking MMA fighter.
I think this is so cool. So Triumph Cigars is doing this collaboration with you guys, and because it's such a good fan base within the UFC.
Yeah, it's been very successful for them too.
It's great because it's not like a direct connection to necessarily the UFC. It's more of a direct connection to the fighter.
Yeah.
Right?
So what happens is the fighters actually get paid a cut, and that's so helpful for fighters when they're in between fights, and sometimes things get a little tough. So now we actually building some extra revenue on, and I'm so proud of him that he was been able to make this happen. I thank Brian Smith and his cigar company, because it's just a really good idea.
Yeah. He had texted or DM'd me on Instagram, and he was telling me about it, and I remember I read the messages, and I was like, okay, this I don't know how this can go, but I'm always open to something new if this is legit. And the biggest thing to me is if you're able to show face, I'm like, okay, this guy is really what. When you text me over messages, it's all cool and dandy. But when you're able to come see me, come find me, and keep up.
He came to physically meet us and tell us about the products, and actually brought some cigars. And for me, I never smoked before, so it was my first experience, and I was like, wow, this is actually kind of cool. It gave you the sense of high that it makes you feel like you could go out and do something.
Yeah,
and the little nicotine kick. But
I've never felt that before.
And that was something like I said, because I'm always thinking about a bunch of different things. Why do you hit me up? Why did you choose me to be part of your company? What is the case? What do you see in me that you want me to be on the team, and you want to create a signature cigar for me? That's always my thinking, because there's, like I said, there's 700 fighters on the roster.
Yeah.
You know, you could
Yeah.
you can try to get to anybody, but to see that and this was before even the slam knockout even happened. So to see him, I think it was after my Contender Series fight. You know, he saw the way how I fought. He liked my style. I think also, you know, being young and youthful, touching another demographic. I think that also plays a big part. But also being good on the mic too. Being able to. It goes back to what you said. Being able to promote yourself. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. I think with Brian, I talked to him, and what he saw was the fact that like you actually are willing to work for a company. You see, most fighters, if they get sponsored, they just take the money and go. You know, you ask them, hey man, can you do a video? And they do a quick little video, and then that's it. We actually work a lot in trying to promote the companies that actually that helps us. Yeah. So it's like it's a symbiotic relationship. So we like you grow, we grow, we both grow. And he saw that, and I feel like he wanted to be in the Smith business.
I also want to say I really love the camaraderie between fighters. I like to see the fighters coming together in this business for the cigars, supporting each other outside of the ring.
Right.
You know, because we had the pleasure to have O'Day Osborne and Brian Battle on too as well. It's good to see all you guys out there and like doing something together, because you obviously, especially I believe it's important. It sounds like in the beginning, once we're kind of learning about all this, you have to have all these different octopus tentacles out there in business. You know what I mean? To kind of support yourself. I
can't tell you how many people have like they've reached out to me. They're like, dang, or even my friends are like, yo, or even coworkers. They're like, Elijah, damn, I see you. You're over here. You're over there. You're there. I'm like, man, I got to be like. Not only do I have my
when are you training? Are you in California this week? When are you actually training, bro?
But not only do I have my own like cigar brand or blend, I also have back at home. I work with a local dispensary called Elevation Dispensary, and I have my own marijuana strand. And that's and that's called Tropical Swift.
Which is another thing.
Tell me more about this.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that I'm against. You know, hold on. I'm not against it. I'm kind of not for it.
It's a new world.
Yeah, man. I feel like I'm just out of my element because obviously I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do weed, you know, anything.
Yeah. This is just for the others in our audience that are enthusiasts. But yes,
but guess what? A lot of people do, and they love it. So it's good money, it's good business, good business.
I mean, living in Colorado. That's kind of
it was the first place to legalize it in the U.S. I mean, that's I remember it was the first dispensary I went to, and I was like,
and you loved weed, so
I was like, this is a whole like it was luxurious, like it was all the glass. I mean, now we got them in California, but back then it was like the products had like packaging, which it wasn't in a fucking Ziploc bag.
And actually the packaging that they had that they made is actually pretty like it's a legit package. Like it's actually nice quality. It's legit. Like one of my friends, he hit me up. His dad owns the dispensary, and he actually ended up buying into the business. And he hit me up one day. He was like, Elijah, let's do something different. Let's make your own strand.
Like your own strain of flower.
Wow. Called Tropical Swift.
Yeah, Tropical Swift.
Tropical Swift.
Yeah, put you on your ass.
It will power slam you.
25% THC. So for all my weed heads, you guys know what I'm talking about. That's pretty high.
Is that strong?
Dude, the weed that I smoked when I was younger, it's not the stuff we had.
I don't know, but we'll find out. Maybe.
Yeah, but
honestly, man, I'm so proud of him because of the fact like you have to kind of do stuff that's gonna bring in some revenue, but also make sense to what you like. And I mean, he does smoke some weed, you know, in his off time, and he enjoys. So it's good stuff, man. I've been hearing people talk about it.
But I'll tell you what, like,
it's good.
One of my things is, like, I do smoke weed, but you would never smell it on me.
Yeah.
Like, you would never come to my house. You'll never sit. I don't smoke in the house. I don't smoke in my car. Like, those two places are, like, my palate. Like, no.
Damn sure don't smoke in the gym. And then the big thing, he don't come to the gym high or to work.
There we go, right there. Yeah. That Tropical Swift.
That's it.
So like I don't know, like there's ways that I do it. I'm like I said, I'm not a person that smokes in my house or in my car.
Yeah.
I like to smell good. I love cologne too. I have a huge cologne collection. Like
would that be another business venture? Maybe.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly. Yeah, I have like
that I could work with.
Like I love.
There you got the Swift fragrance.
Yeah, like this guy.
right.
This guy comes down to my room. He was like, "Oh, you got some
I
cologne."
did this morning.
And that's one thing I hate. Okay, that's what I ain't gonna lie, but I let him do it just because.
Because he's your dad.
Yeah, no.
What two guys smelling the same?
Yeah, I don't like. I don't like when somebody's wearing the same cologne as me. I mean, if we're out and I smell, then that's fine. But if you ask me like, "Yo, Elijah, you got some cologne on you?" and I only got one bottle.
You mean I know?
I didn't know that was a thing. I never heard of that. Is that a thing for y'all?
Yeah, I agree with him.
Yeah,
I get all my boys. I got 4 boys. They all got to have different colognes
yeah,
too.
different colognes. Yeah,
not the same.
Yeah,
they all got to have.
Like we can have the same cologne, but don't wear the same cologne as me that day. You know,
people coordinate colognes. I never heard of that. Like,
I just don't want another man to smell like me. You know,
we can't all smell the same. Come on, the girls. You know, we're attracted to when you're single or something.
We got to give them options. We got to give them options.
Yeah, you have to give them the options, the different flavors, man. Yeah, that's the ice cream shop.
Someone smells good. I don't know which one of y'all. I don't know who to choose.
I think
knowing me, I'd be like, yo, that's me. That was me. I'm the one that.
No, it's me actually.
I think it goes back to territory marking, right? Where we're like, no, man, this is my smell right now. This is my territory. If a girl likes this, hey, this is
man. I'm gonna post that on Facebook. I'm gonna ask, is that a real?
Yo, this man is. Yo, you're so old.
Yeah.
He said, I'm gonna post that on Facebook. He said, I'm gonna post that on. Bro, do a poll on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it on Instagram.
On Facebook.
Yeah, I'm doing
man,
that.
Facebook now. I use Facebook as like family. Like,
Look at that.
I was gonna say my dad would bring me up with the samples. So he taught me back in the day because I'm old. I was gonna come out and say it, or you guys don't know, but you guys we do. But like you go to Nordstrom, you go like to back of these stores, you go to these stores that just kind of play the field, and you get all these samples, and then you would go out, and this is you're single, and you go out in the club, and you kind of maybe throw something on. You're like, I don't know if they're feeling this one. I don't know if they're feeling this Burberry. Maybe it must be the cologne. You go in the bathroom, you do some soap right there. You're like, let's go polo. Let's go polo tonight, baby. Polo's gonna hit.
No, you're not getting girls because of you. It had nothing to do with the cologne. Man. I don't even wear cologne. I got a bag of. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you,
you just gotta have the game.
I'm telling you,
it's just a cherry on top.
That's probably one of my. I love getting compliments. That that I smell good. That's my favorite. If you wanna make me feel good, you wanna stroke my ego. Tell me I smell good, and that's when I like, damn, for real.
That's crazy.
So do you wear cologne into the ring?
Huh?
Do you wear cologne into the octagon?
No. When I'm in the ring, I want you to smell my funk.
Yeah,
I want you. I don't want you to be.
I got another quick question about this because prep for it.
Yeah.
I've heard that people will like douse themselves in like baby oil or whatever.
Oh, not that guy. We're not doing that party.
No, not that party. but
whoa. Okay, let's get specific. I got art back there. You know, what kind of what are we doing here?
With like a sweatsuit on, so your body absorbs all of it, and then you dry it all off, and then when you get in the ring, and then you start to sweat a little bit, all that oil that's been absorbed in the skin comes out, and you become a slippery little mess.
I haven't dealt with that.
That might have been a Diddy trick. Actually.
Yeah. But back then with George St. Pierre, or was it George St. or BJ Penn?
No, it was George St. Pierre when his coach put Vaseline on his chest.
But I also feel like, to me, in my head, I feel like that's just such a. And nowadays, when some guys say that, like, "Oh, this guy felt really slippery," I'm like, all right. I mean, to me, in my head, I'm like. It's so
You're still
hard.
Gonna punch him in the face.
Yeah, like how? Like I mean, yeah, he's gonna be, especially if he's a guy that sweats hard. To me, I just feel like it's nowadays. It's in my head. It's
wouldn't
an excuse.
happen in the UFC. I mean, I think so, but like maybe in the local and the regional smaller shows, sometimes people could find different ways to cheat. I think that kind of sucks if that happens.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering if there would be regulations on that, because honestly,
there are regulations on it.
Like you can't have like a poop cologne that you go in the ring
no,
with, and you're like trying to suffocate people.
You can't have any cologne, and then if you did smell that bad, they will stop it. You can't just do things like that.
Yeah.
Because one, I'll be
Right.
thinking something's wrong with you as far as maybe a sickness or you have some disease or some infection. Like, nah, I'm not fighting.
True.
you.
I mean, because we wrestled back in the day. I mean, the ringworm and stuff that you have to worry about and stuff
I've
like
never,
that. It's
I've never dealt with staph or anything like that. Never like that. So I mean, we tend to keep the gym pretty clean. So,
I guess next time I buy some cologne, I'm gonna make sure that it's you don't have the same brand. I had no idea that was a thing, but now I learned something today.
Super off topic, like, you know, with the Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul, I feel like the fact that Jake Paul broke his jaw, I feel like that was probably worst case scenario. I'd rather you just knock me out. You know, you knock me out, I wake up, I'm like, yo, what
Speaking
happened?
Speaking of, there's like another fighter out there that actually won a world championship by breaking someone's jaw. He didn't get any knockouts his whole career. He never knocked anybody out, but he did break someone's jaw and he won a world championship. You know who that fighter is?
No.
You know? No? Okay. It's me.
I was catching a sense of
I hope you got Elijah's look as you gave into that story. Looking at me because I was like,
okay. RFA, right? I broke this guy's jaw. He was actually a really good fighter, and I broke him in two different places. And he's right. That is the worst case because now his jaw was wide for 8 weeks. He couldn't drink. I mean, he couldn't eat, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Getting knocked out actually is not that bad. It's kind of embarrassing, but you wake up and you be like, damn, what happened? You actually don't feel it really. But getting your jaw broken, you feel it for weeks on end.
I bet.
And this hand, and actually what it was? It was an uppercut in the back hook, boom.
He didn't even know.
Oh.
Yeah, you see that?
Oh
yeah,
shit!
Right.
I like this because you're really promoting us older guys.
But he didn't.
I like it. I'll
Listen,
he
I say it happened. He did. He threw it. But when you watch it, you're like, damn, when did it land? Like, what? He didn't even know.
It was so fast.
It
was so fast.
It was so lightning, couldn't even see it.
The guy stopped and he was like, what's going on? He was so confused.
Yeah. Hey man, what I gotta say, when you have that power,
listen, when you touch somebody, it's like, you could feel it. Like, oh, I know that hurt. You already. For him, he's like,
my
I don't know,
one broken jaw equates to like 5 knockouts. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like, do you find? Because I also like enjoy some of where the fighters will go in there, and there's just so much. I mean, you know, like a Nate Diaz or something like that, where there's even within the ring is like a lot of like this shit talking or like, and so I'm just like wondering, you know, when you pop that guy or you feel like that connect, if you get
I'll be like,
you get that feedback.
Yeah, I'll be like, ooh. Or, you know, because to be honest, I don't really talk too much when I fight. Maybe I'll talk a little bit if I'm sparring, but when it comes down to fighting, I don't know. I've never been a talker. I've never been a big talker. I just cool. Like even like I'll kick and say somebody checks it. I think one of my opponents, both my opponents, I think they did the same thing. My debut and my in the Contender Series fight, like I threw a calf kick and I think they checked it, and they're both like they pointed like, oh yeah, I know you felt that, and I was like, I didn't even like while they were pointing down, I was like, cool, boop boop.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, okay, next thing, next. I'm on to the next. If you checked it, cool. I'm not gonna show you that hurt me.
Yeah.
So it did hurt. I threw a kick and he checked it. I was like, shit. But in my head, I'm like, no.
You can't show the pain, man. I tell you what, there's one time like I hit this dude, and boom, and he dropped. And I was like, where the hell did he go? And I had to find him. He was on the ground. Or better, I kind of clocked this dude. And I'm like, man, that was a powerful hand. He's still standing there. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. I say, like, if you guys, because when I fought Joshua Walker, and that fight is still up on YouTube, too. When I dropped him, I didn't, to be honest, I really didn't know what punch dropped him. And then I rewatched the replay, and it was like a short little left hook.
Just the right spot.
And knockouts are so weird.
The right
sometimes
spot.
you throw everything, boom, and the guy's still standing there, and sometimes you go, oh, and he falls.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't like, and I didn't feel like I threw that punch hard, and it was just 1 second he was there, and 1 second he was on the ground looking at me, and I had dropped him. I was like, well, this is, because that was the second I had dropped him. I finished him in the first round, but I dropped him early in the round with just a jab, which is why my knuckle is still kind of it's swollen. But I've been fighting like this for the last 3, 4 fights. So I'm used to it now. But I remember when I dropped him, boom, I felt my hand. I was like, and it was a jab. I was like, damn, that hurt. I was like, I knew it was a solid one, like straight to the forehead, neck went in, and I saw he dropped. And I wanted to go in and finish that. Like, I was like, man, I should jump on it. But I was like, you know what? Hold on, this is too early. I don't see him, like, I dropped him, but I don't see that he's, like, out of the fight yet. You know, I feel like he's still there. So I was like, you know what, let me take my time with it. Let me break him down. So throughout the, the rest of the round, I'm feeling him. And then he comes in, and I hit him with another jab because he tried to go jab to the head and jab to the body. And when he jabbed to the body, I boom. And it was a fast jab. You would have to, like, rewatch it to see where it landed because it was so fast. And when I threw the second jab, I seen him go, like, almost like his equilibrium kind of, like, I felt him, like, just stop for a second. And from that point on, when I landed that jab, I was like, okay, now it's time to press. So I'm inching closer. I'm like, this has got to be it. And as soon as I had the distance right, I just let off a 3-4 punch combination, and he dropped.
Folded.
Yeah, he folded. And then I jumped. I was like, now I jump on him, and I just started unloading a bunch of elbows. Boom, boom. And I even looked at the ref. I don't even think he was fully out, but I felt like he was getting to that point. And as I'm dropping elbows, I'm like, hey, ref. I'm like, ref, he's out. Hey, and that helped me.
Yeah, and that was so smart of him because sometimes a fighter would drop his opponent and they would rush it, and the guy will, like, recover. You have to figure out the perfect time to go for the finish and when sometimes, like, to pull back.
Yeah.
So that's fight IQ.
Yeah.
So I'm also curious about, so you've won 9 in your professional career with UFC, won 9, and every time you've had a post-fight interview?
Have I? Dang.
Well, not your contenders fight. You didn't have a post-fight interview.
Yeah, I didn't have a post-fight.
Or is there a message that you want to convey in a post-fight interview? Do you already have that, like, thought out to a degree?
Sometimes I do, but it never comes out the way how I game plan it.
Yeah.
Like, I always, like, I'm like, okay, when I get on the mic, I want to shout out, my sponsors, but so much be going on in my head, I still have a bunch of adrenaline. I just, try to thank as many people that I can remember in the moment, and then I go back, I'll be like, damn, I meant to shout out so-and-so.
My bad, I didn't thank you.
Yeah. I would just think that's the hardest thing, to come off a fight and then go into an interview.
Yeah.
Like, I always think that
immediately, but like some people just, like Derek Lewis, absolutely hilarious. Like he just says whatever comes. He's like, my balls is hot.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, because it's like one of those things. You go into a fight, you have it's a lot of energy, a lot of emotions. So when you go out there and you win a fight, especially if you win in the first round, it's a lot of what you're like, whew, a weight off your shoulders.
Yeah. That's the best feeling. Is that relief?
You're like, good Lord,
like, I'm done with this,
Thank you.
man. So much hype and so much energy you put into it. The best person that was on the mic afterwards probably like Chael Sonnen. He would do these rhymes and these raps and.
I say
like,
Chael Sonnen or like Conor McGregor.
Yeah, but Chael Sonnen came before Conor McGregor, and Chael Sonnen was the original the guy that just spoke like this was WWE.
Yeah, he got people.
Yeah, he could
post fight got them excited.
Yeah.
Dude, the ones between him and Tito are some of my favorites.
Yeah. Chael Sonnen was to me, he's a GOAT.
Yeah. When I get on the mic, I don't know. I've never been a real big shit talker. I always said, like, I've never had a fight to where it got deeper than what it was. And I feel like within my fight career, I don't think until I get maybe later on in my career, like as we start cracking into top 15, top 10, maybe you start seeing a little bit of animosity. But as of right now, I'm so chill. I'm so laid back. I'm real nonchalant. I think a lot of people, a lot of fighters, they hate seeing a nonchalant guy. Because I'm like,
well, I think that's the beauty of it, man.
Yeah.
It's commendable too to be a respectable man in the ring and around the ring, and like, I think that drives him. That drives like guys even more crazy. Like
they want to get aroused out of you.
He stays neutral on things. For me, like,
yeah,
that's like my job, man, because I'm out there and I'm talking stuff. I will write comments. If someone comments on the video, I will comment back. You know what I'm saying?
Talking shit.
But it's one of those. But it's one of those things. It's like, I feel like I'm so nonchalant because I know if I get if I get to that place where I get out of character, it like if I'm up there, it's gonna stay up there forever.
Yeah.
So it's like if I had like if you piss me off and you say something that I didn't like, even after the fight, like I'm not even trying to talk to you. I'm not gonna go up to you like, oh, you know, it was a good fight. No, because deep down, if you say something personal in the fight in the press conference, and listen, you could call me this, you can call me a bitch, you could say I'm a terrible fighter, you could say whatever. Tell me, I really don't care. We're about to get ready to fight, so we're gonna find out anyways. But when you start talking about people who can't really defend themselves, like, for example, you're talking about family, you start speaking on kids or, you know, deeper stuff. Now we're not about to have a fight. This is not going to be an MMA fight. Yeah. Now I'm looking to try to, like, I'm trying to legally kill you.
Yeah.
And,
you get a street fight.
Yeah. Now you're gonna get what you're looking for, and at that point, I really don't care.
Yeah, and that's the problem with this, like this new age of fighters. Everybody feel like they need to like put on this character and take things above and beyond. Like we could keep it like gentlemen. We can stay there with it. And the fact is, like, we're going to punch each other in the face anyways.
Yeah.
So what's the point of us, you know, trying to call each other out, especially talking about family? I get it. You're trying to sell tickets, but there's smarter ways to do it.
Yeah. Like,
but don't you think the UFC, like
they
the
love
leaders,
that shit.
they love that,
They
right?
love it.
Like, they almost want to give more fights to those people.
But listen, if my opponent was like, don't, you know, I'm gonna make your daughter cry. Cool. Now I'm about to grab this chair and I'm probably gonna throw it at you.
Yeah.
Or better yet, better yet, I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna fight you. I don't want you to make any money off of like fight me, win or lose. I don't care. I'm just not gonna fight you. I'm gonna fight the next guy. I mean, like, if I have that choice.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna like be that disrespectful.
Yeah.
Well, I also want to hear from the coach's perspective on the side of the octagon during a fight. Because, you know, there are some coaches you can hear when you're watching it.
Yeah.
You can hear them yelling.
Yeah.
Like, is there a certain, do you change anything that you do?
Yeah.
As far as your voice, the way you're talking, codes or anything like
that?
Yeah,
codes. Yeah, we got some code words that like I try to scream and like and I would say it. I was like, cliffhanger. And I mean something. He knows it means.
Yeah.
You know, and
you don't want to tell us.
No.
Nice try though. I mean,
He said, and what does that mean?
Yeah. We got a whole bunch of them, you know, and because the truth is, I don't want to say right hand and his opponent hears it. You know what I'm saying? So, but honestly, the biggest thing about coaching is trying to keep them calm. Don't get them so riled up, you know. Between rounds, I'm like, okay, breathe. And then we start talking about strategies and options. And, like, you have to go out there and fight. And I have to keep you motivated because at the end of the day, we can have all these strategies in the world, but you got to go out there and want it. Do you want it?
Yeah.
You know, I had to tell him one fight, I was like, bro, we don't want another Junior Cortez fight. And that's the fight he lost. You know, because I saw Elijah, he was starting to die down on energy. He was getting tired. And I was like, bro, we lost the fight because of this. Let's not do this again. And he heard that, and he went back out there and was like, all right, we're not going to do this again. And he fought his ass off. And that's how he won the contract.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then how many wins after that?
After that, because that was the Contender Series fight, so 2 more. So what? Yeah, so because when he said that was the fight for the Contender Series.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of turned me up. I remember he was telling me, and I was like, no, I don't. I actually want this.
Well, I mean, that's what the point I wanted to make was
fight
like
kind of sucked. And Junior Cortez is a good guy, but it's kind of funny because his sister is actually Tracy Cortez, who just dated Alex Pereira, and they kind of broke up last night.
Oh, last night they broke up?
Yeah. Well, at least last night they announced that they broke up. Yeah.
I thought they just announced on New Year's that they were together.
You're right, exactly. Last night they actually just announced on everywhere that they broke up.
And then I heard some crazy shit like that people were hitting up Ortega.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, what's wrong with people?
Yeah.
Like that's his
internet,
ex,
man. And that's the internet.
It's Tracy Cortez's his ex.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
and then, but he like it was cool. Like I thought like what his response to it was like a great way to kind of shut it down. It was just like, dude, you guys like I'm gonna pay attention to that, but some of your digs are pretty good. Like kind of smiley face, but it's just like, come on. But
he got a new girl now, and she's doing whatever. But yeah, it was
He's
funny
married now
because like Tracy Cortez is I'm not too sure the oldest sister or the youngest sister of Junior Cortez.
I think she's younger.
Yeah. So it was like,
but it's it's one of those things. It's like it's funny how like different fight careers.
Tracy Cortez blew up and went to the UFC, and
But I'm not even talking about his. I'm like talking about between mines and Juniors.
Because he beat you, but you made it to the UFC.
Yeah. So it's fun fact. Another fun fact. So when I fought him, I was 2-0 as a pro.
Mm-hmm.
He had just fought
Peyton Talbot.
Yeah, no.
That was after.
He fought Christian Rodriguez. He fought Christian Rodriguez. Then he lost, and then after Christian Rodriguez, that's when we got paired up. And like I said, I was 2-0, and
you was 2-0, but he was 6-2. Understand the math.
Elijah
was 2-0 fighting someone who was 6-2.
Come from the Contender Series, and at that time, I was 20. I want to say I was either 20 or 21, and so young, but we couldn't find a fight. So
you was 20 because remember you won your fight with Chopper, and then you turned 21, and we took the.
Yep. So I was 20, and we couldn't find a fight. So we were like, all right. Then the promoter came back. They was like, here's this. I was, my amateur career, I finished everybody. My first two pro fights were finishes. I was like, shit, I'm invincible. I mean, let's go out and do it. Who is this guy? I looked at the tape. I was like, didn't see anything too crazy. I was like, you know what? I feel like we have a good chance. I'm going to bet on myself. And we get to the fight. First round, I felt like I won. Second round, he started picking up the pace. He won the second round. And then it came down to the third round. And the third round, I'm not gonna lie, I was tired. He was hitting me with a lot of calf kicks, hitting me with stuff that I wasn't used to, and that depleted my energy. And he just came out with a body overhand and put me down. And so I was like, shit. Well, that sucked. Yeah. So as I lost, he won. He got another call back up to the Contender Series right after me, and that's when he fought Peyton Talbot. And he lost to Peyton Talbot, of course, but Peyton Talbot, he's a good fighter as well. But that right there, I was like, damn. He beat a young 2-0 cat, and he got called back up to UFC. I'm like, so if he beat me and he got called back up, that must think that I was a high, like...
The value.
Yeah. I was a good win. I was a good win for him. So I was like, okay. Cool. That is what it is. What it is. So then after that, once I started winning, kept building up my name, and I got called back. Now I'm in it. Or I got called back. I got called up to the Contender Series, won my fight. Now I'm 2-0 in the UFC, and Cortez is still has a winning. He's still winning right now. Like I think he's maybe like 2-0 or whatnot, 2 or 3-0. But I'm in the UFC, and he's still in the regional circuit. So it's really crazy how life works and how the fight game goes. I mean, it really comes down to, perfect timing.
Sometimes and then taking that opportunity and maximizing it. Yeah.
Well, also, coming off that loss, that's when he did the song Come Back. And he wanted to quit MMA. It was so crazy, like seeing my son go through a phase, like because he took a loss and he felt like, at the time, he felt like he couldn't lose, but this is MMA. You can lose.
Yeah.
It kind of hit that ego a little bit, but I honestly believe that's exactly what he needed. He needed to know that like you can lose. But to me, it was like the loss is not gonna like define you, but it can refine you if you're willing to put in the work. And from there, like we worked our asses off. We changed some things. We started going up to Denver and sparring with some bigger name guys. And we just got better. And from there, he started winning. And now we in the UFC. So that loss, it sucked. It was very hard as a father to see your son get taken out. It's just not something you want to see. But I understood, like, this is a sport that it can happen. Mm-hmm. But either way, I was like, okay, what can we do to get better? And luckily enough, man, we definitely put in, actually, it wasn't luck. But we put in the work, and we made it to the UFC. So it was needed. That loss sucked, but it was needed.
And the Contender Series fight as well. Like, I mean, they called me up on short notice, so I was gearing up for a fight already.
That's supposed to happen like almost like a month and a half later.
Yeah, so I had beat Josh Walker, right? And I remember at that point in time, I was 5-1, and Josh Walker was 8-1. And I remember they were saying they're like, whoever's gonna win this fight, they're gonna get called up to the Contender Series, or just get a call straight up. And I went out there, and I beat the guy in the first round, knocked him out, TKO, and I'm like, all right, this is my time.
Yeah.
Said, go ahead, bring me the contract, and I never got one. So I was sitting there, I was like, okay, well, we're gonna sit back and see what the options are. So we got a contract to fight one more time. We were hoping like, okay, this will probably get us in. And I was contracted to fight a guy named Sean Mora, a really good Cuban wrestler. But I like my odds against that. And I was like, let's do it. I'm going to go take him out, and then that got to be my ticket. And then sure enough, probably maybe a week or so comes around. My manager, Jason House, he called me. He was like, he called me first. Yeah. I was at work. Yeah. He called me first. I was dealing with a customer, couldn't answer. Then I saw my manager called me, Jason. I was like, oh shit, something must be going on. But I couldn't answer because I was still dealing with a customer. So once I was done with the customer, I called my manager back. I was like, yo, you know what's going on? He was like, Elijah, we might have a chance to slide you in for the Contender Series. I was like, what? Said like the UFC? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, well, okay, why? Like, well, I thought that wasn't a thing. He was like, there's a guy, he's from, I think he was from China, and he was having visa issues. So, and the fact that he was having visa issues, he was like, we can possibly.
Thank you, Trump, on that. No,
yeah. But yeah.
I'm not even a big Trump fan, but it was the only time like, all right,
yeah,
gifts come in all different ways. Yeah, from all different people.
But yeah, no, they called me up, and they was like, okay, cool. Then I was like, all right, well, who am I fighting and when? They were like, September 17th against a guy named Aaron Tao. And September 17th, I got the call up like in the beginning of September. I was like, damn, that's right around the corner. Shit. Okay, well, the UFC calls you. What are you going to say? No? Yeah, of course I'm going to take the fight. I'm going to bet on myself. And we went out there, fought a guy named Aaron Tao. He had the face tats.
From City Kickboxing. Yeah. That's where Israel Adesanya's from.
Yeah, and we went out there and... Went out there and had a war.
Was this at the Apex or what?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
all about to be all 4 of my fights have been in the Apex. We thought the last fight after the Slam KO would be the one to get me out the Apex, but here we are. Here we are. It's all right. We're back. We're back.
So right now,
after that fight, you got the contract.
Yeah.
Wasn't that just like after your birthday too? Or
it was. It was right after my birthday. Yeah, it was September 5th. Yeah, so I turned how did I turn? 21? Yeah, I turned. I turned 21, and then boom, I fought Aaron Tao.
21. You just turned 21.
Yeah.
And then you're officially in the UFC.
He was the second youngest fighter on the roster at the time. Yeah. The first one was Raul Hoas. The thing is this, like, I keep telling my son, because sometimes my son would be like, because we got a small gym in Colorado Springs called VictoryMMA, and sometimes he feels like he needs like a bigger gym with bigger names and things like that. And I mean, he's not wrong, because, bigger gyms have like different fighters he can train with. But I'm like, bro, we have fought the bigger gyms. We have beat the bigger gyms. So like, I appreciate like what we have. I think the connection we have, like, I really feel like we could go out there and beat almost anybody if we given enough time to prepare for it. And I mean, I get it. If you want to go to like Miami or Vegas or New York or California to these big name gyms that got like 500 fighters and all the crazy names, I get how that could be like alluring. But the fact is, we've been winning just from Colorado Springs with a small gym, and we've been putting in good work. And I think with like my experience and my knowledge and his hunger and his like speed and power, like we just a dynamic duo.
Maybe that's also coming out of the shadows in a way, like nobody gets to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no eyes on you. There's nobody listening to you, and
we will travel to like other gyms to get some outside sparring. Like I said, we go up to Denver, and we go train at Factory X, which is a great gym, and sometimes we get different looks with also big name guys. So I'm not against it, but like we have a home base in Colorado Springs, and we're doing great things there.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, you just brought up another aspect of the business, I think too, as far as that. I mean, when you're winning you're also winning for your gym, like your training camps, because obviously, right, that you start seeing more and more chants coming out of that, right? Then people want to go train there.
Yeah, most people. Yeah, I mean, after my Contender Series fight, more people they definitely wanted to come to the gym.
Yeah, they want to pull up and
they want to say like, teach me the power bomb.
I mean, and also like the gym is something I believe like we make good money from there. So it's something like he can have after I'm done coaching and training, and it's something when like his career is done, he can lean on. So because look, right, you can't fight forever.
When I'm done fighting, I'm done. I'm out.
He says that now. He says that now.
I'm out.
But when he sees the money that the gym making, he may be like, I don't know. I guess I could coach.
I'd be a gym owner.
Oh yeah.
Just hire more coaches.
Yeah.
So and you got one kid and another on the way, right? And so I mean, would you ever want them to get into the MMA?
Ooh,
I didn't want him to fight.
No,
I didn't. I never pushed fighting on him. I mean, the biggest thing is that I wanted him to like know how to fight, but I never said, "Hey man, we should do this MMA thing. Come on, let's go, bro." This sport is so freaking hard. People don't understand like how hard it is, and you don't make a lot of money. You like if you have the ability to do another sport and play basketball and make it to the league, you're making way more money. It's an easier path. It's a direct line. With this sport, the politics you have to play is so difficult. This is definitely the toughest sport.
I completely agree with you from an outsider's perspective.
And sometimes it's the toughest sport. And
I wouldn't say it's the toughest sport.
And this guy. And sometimes it's the toughest sport with the lowest payoff.
I'd say wrestling.
I mean,
I was going to say wrestling, but I think MMA is. I look at it as it's all mixed in. But wrestling, you typically
not getting knocked out.
Yeah, but wrestling, you definitely ain't getting paid a dime.
Yeah, I mean,
no shit. There is no money in wrestling.
That's true. I'd say, but if I could have write like his life. I mean, he obviously would have been a doctor. You know what I mean? I could be proud and happy with that, and not see him take punches and get taken down and things like that. I'd be way more happy with that. But the fact that he is playing, he is doing MMA, it does help us kind of build a tighter bond, and I am happy to pass on that legacy. However, if he'd have did football, that'd have been tough for me because I don't even like football, so I have no way to connect with that.
But I mean, going back to what you asked me, what I want my kids, to be honest, they do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Whatever you
let them find their path.
Whatever you find passion in. I mean,
as long as it's positive and you're being successful at it and you're putting your heart and soul into it, that's the biggest thing I think hopefully our kids would get from. It's not just the success, but it's the work that we put in to get there.
Yeah, but I also don't want them to ride on. I think that's another tough part about being like having a father that's done it before. I mean, look at guys like Bronny James. That's such a, your dad is LeBron James. That's a huge pedestal right there to try to
lucky
chase.
For you, I'm not LeBron James. Yeah. I wasn't that successful.
Like, why do you think guys like Anderson Silva, his sons, they're not in the UFC and they fight,
Yeah.
Or it's really hard. So I don't know. I've been thinking about that a lot. Like I of course want to be a part of their story and their growth, but I also don't want them to. I want them to build their own name.
Yeah.
I don't want them to be known as that's Elijah Smith, that's always gonna happen. That's always gonna happen. But do something that's gonna make yourself memorable, not because they know you because of your father. Mm. You at the end of the day, everybody has their own story to make.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I will say this, and I really want to say this with a lot of passion because it's so funny that you have all these great MMA fighters, all these legends, and none of them have a kid that made it to the UFC. They got some of that fought, that did a couple fights, whatever, but none of them have done it. But me and Elijah have done it.
Yeah.
That is so, I really feel like, I know people talk about it and we do get some love for it, but I don't think we get enough love for it because you got to think about it. You got the Chuck Liddells and the Tito Ortiz and all these great fighters, and not one of them had a kid to make it to the UFC, but we did it, and that shows how special that is. We are the second father-son duo to ever fight in the UFC, and to me, that's historic.
Yeah, it is.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I was thinking too as you were speaking. I was thinking about for example, entertainment industry, right? sometimes people will say a lot that there's, nepotism. If there's a father actor, well, he could get his son roles.
Yeah.
And really, or his daughter, or his kids. But the idea is that they don't even have to be talented, right? They could just keep giving them jobs and giving them movies, and they could be like on Hallmark or whatever they're doing. But it's like with the fighter thing, it's like the training has to come through. You're gonna get in that. It's just you. No one can help you. Do good. It's like at the end,
I get the training and maybe the opportunities, but you got to go perform.
You can't keep just getting fights, right? Like you can't just be like, oh yeah, he just got to fight. He's lost 20 times in a row. He's gonna have another fight.
They won't stand for it.
Because he got it because of family.
I guess the only thing that you could probably do is maybe get favorable matchups.
Right.
You'd be like, hell no, we not fighting this Dagestan Russian guy who's cousins with he's related to Khabib, and
it's gonna be one of the most boring fights ever.
He's 12-0. You're like, God damn.
However, Elijah always fought up.
Yeah.
Like we always went after the tough fighters. Once again, he was 2-0 fighting someone that was 6-2. We fighting up, and that's why Elijah made it, because we wasn't afraid to go against those tough.
And always, every single fight that I've had, I've always been the youngest guy. Always, I've never fought somebody the same age. Never, not one time, not a single time.
Yeah.
There's always been a huge age gap. I would say the average age above me would always be like 4 years plus, at least.
Yeah.
I think most of the guys you fought have been especially the tough guys, have been in your 30s. The last two guys was 30 years old.
This guy's 30.
Aaron Tall is
30. I want to say he's 32.
So, the last four guys.
Yeah.
Maybe the last five guys if you count the guy you're fighting now.
Yeah.
I just want to say this for the old guys, though, but there's some old guys in UFC that do surprise some people. Peyton Talbot got surprised.
But that's what we're talking about. It's like the fact that he's fighting older guys, which means he's fighting guys with more experience.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're saying that he's actually taking the tougher road.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just a blessing. But it comes from hard work, dedication, where I literally have tatted on my chest, and that's one of the things I teach them. Like at the end of the day, no matter how you feel or how talented you are, if you don't put in the hard work, you're gonna get exposed.
But that's something he ain't never had to tell me though.
That was a great point too. I was almost just talking smack against some of these people that talking the betting thing, and they try to put people down by their age or something like that. You're right. It's the experience, man, that you got prepared for.
Well, there's experience. I think that's part of it, but I think work ethic is a huge part, right?
Yeah,
and so that started for you when you were young. I assume.
It started.
What was the catalyst for that?
I just hate losing. That's it. And
it was all sports.
Yeah, all sports. Okay. If my cousins that I grew up with, we were always go play basketball, go play football. We were always competitive. So just the way how I grew up, if you want to win, you got to get better. How do you get better? You got to go out there. You got to go in the gym. Go train, go work out. We'd just be super competitive. So putting in hard work was never that was never something hard for me to do. You didn't have to tell me to go do it. I'll go do it. And even if you do tell me to go do it, I was never gonna, why I gotta do it? I might be like, shit, but I'll go do it. So it's having that mentality and
showing up and putting the work in, man.
Yeah,
I think a lot of even your generation and the younger kids, I look at them and I'm like, what the fuck's gonna happen in our world,
man?
Nobody wants to work anymore. Everybody wants to be content creators. No one actually want to go to school and actually become an engineer. And I think that's very scary for the future. But I'm hoping people can see a story like myself, who comes from the hood, to actually could make a business, to actually go to school, get degrees, and build a business and build a legacy that I could pass on to my kids, and hopefully they could look at him and see what you can do when you're willing to put in the work and not be afraid to lose. Because check this out, the biggest secret to success is losing.
Yeah,
it's failure, and knowing how to bounce back and how to learn from it. And most people are afraid to face that because they feel like if you fail, you are not good, you suck, and everybody's gonna laugh at you. But guess what, bro? Everybody fails a little bit. The biggest thing you can do is go out there, try your hardest. If you don't make it, come back stronger, learn from those mistakes, and become a bigger and better man.
Word up. Yeah.
Well, I know we're gonna be running out of time here pretty quick, but I wanted to go do the rapid fire round. You good with that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with Elijah.
Okay.
What do you think the true value of a first year contract fighter should be?
Ooh, the true value. If you're somebody who's coming in with a hot name, you have a good following. I think the true value, you know, are we talking about like what should a fight purse be?
Yeah.
I would say if I had to be non-biased and be equal on both sides, I think if you're somebody who's been getting finishes on the regional circuit and you have a good following, I would say a good start on a base pay, I would say between 15 to 20,000. But I mean, I'm trying to think of like a fair assessment because
I would say enough so I didn't have to work for a year.
Yeah, that is true.
That's a great benchmark. I think
at least a year. Give me a year to like train. I didn't have to work. So a good $100,000, I could take care of a lot of things and focus.
But there's also like a lot of guys who have like, you know, padded their records and, you know, they may look good on paper, but when they go against, you know, tough competition, they're like, oh, you're not as good, so I just paid you $50,000. So that's where I get Dana White, like, you know, paying somebody and they underperform, you know. You're like, damn, you're not the guy you're a CM Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You suck and you're boring.
Yeah. And you don't and you don't promote.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, Gilbert, what is one of your favorite cities to have fought in?
I mean, Vegas. Like that's the easy one. Besides my home city, where I don't have to travel because I hate traveling. But but Vegas, and I'm gonna tell you why. The thing about Vegas, it brings that type of energy. Like you feel like it's something big and special. The guy that I broke his jaw happened in Vegas.
Where at? What venue?
It was actually outside. It was
really?
The first time. Yes, it was the first time the RFA did an event outside by the D Hotel, which is like more down by Fremont area, and we actually fought outside. And to be in Vegas and have the crowd and have your name, like your picture all over the place, and it was just crazy. Like you can't beat that.
Okay, I have no idea how that feels, but it's got to be wild.
Yeah.
Let's see. Best advice you've ever received, Elijah?
Put at least 80% of your savings in a high yielding savings account.
I was just talking to him about this last night.
Whoa.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I literally just told him this last night.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I always had I recently, my daddy told me to get a high yielding bank account, probably like sometime last year. And so, I took probably like, of the fight bonus, I probably took about like 50% and put it into a high yielding. And then last night he was like, I would put 80. Yeah. 80, whatever's in your check-ins, at least.
I'm like, bro, like, I mean, we could be investing. We could be putting it into stocks and bonds and all. But at minimum, don't keep it in your checking. Like he just kept it in the checking, and now we're not getting nothing from it.
No.
So at minimum, just put it into a high-yielding savings account. And if you ever need it, there's ways you could go to take it out. Yeah. But at minimum.
Yeah, I'm a
let your money make money.
Yeah, I'm a cheapskate. I like to save money if I ain't got to spend money. So I mean,
you're probably one of the few that is actually thinking about that.
The next step for us is to start getting some real estate properties. We talked about it. We want to collaborate and then start building some extra revenue. We want to build some generation wealth for our family.
Well, I'll add a bonus question.
Yeah,
That Mario question, just real quick. How did you guys get your fighter names?
I got my pretty damn easy.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to make my MMA debut, and I'm filling out the thing like for your fighter name and what music you want to, all that stuff. I'm like, damn, I did all this training. I'm focusing on my UFC debut. I'm thinking, I'm in my head, I'm gearing up for a UFC championship fight for my MMA debut. But so I'm thinking about the whole fight, but I'm not thinking about the smaller things like the fight name. And when I got to that moment in time, I asked who's not my fiance, what should my fighter name be? And she was like, out of the blue. She was like, Swift. She's like, Elijah Swift Smith. She was like, that sounds good. I was like, yeah. She was
that was phenomenal.
Yeah,
right? That was really good, man.
Yeah, she was like, it rolls off good, and she was like, you're fast and you're quick when you spar. So I was like, you know what?
Swift
okay.
Smith, she killed it with that one.
Yeah, and
she
so,
killed it with that one.
And then I go out there and my first 2 fights lasted a combined of 22 seconds. My first fight knocked the guy out in 15 seconds. The second one I knocked him out in 7 seconds.
That's Swift.
That is. Earn that name. Or prove that name.
Yeah.
One of the two, yeah.
So I was like, well, that was easy, and we just kept going on with it.
Yeah, well, my
Gilbert?
name, my name goes back to the problem I had, right? You know, I was called Power Stroke. I was called Midnight Magic. I was called Chocolate Thunder.
All names he gave himself.
Wait, did you say? Wait. You said you were a dancer back in the day. I want to know.
All names that I earned in some way, in some form of fashion.
He gave them to himself.
You know, it was like, honestly, I wanted a name that if you said it on TV, it would just sound kind of funny. You know, Gilbert Power Stroke Smith. It just sounds funny. But it also kind of wrapped around the whole like sexual theme, and it was just like my mind is sometimes like that was my kryptonite. Like I said, I didn't drink.
The nympho.
I didn't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do any drugs. But damn, women was my problem. So yeah.
Well, I just started thinking like of a come out song if you were Power Stroke, like stroking.
Yeah.
You know, Clarence Garner. Or whatever, like,
I'll be stroking.
Yeah, I'll be stroking.
I stroke you to the east.
I stroke you
to the west. I stroking in the girl that
man.
I love the best.
Stroking.
Yeah.
I think this is a great time to actually play another one of your tracks to bring us out.
Yo, what we got going on here?
Yeah.
Before we close it out, I might as well tell you guys how I got how I came up with the name Shakur the Bag.
Yeah, well, look. Yeah. Dude,
so
cool.
I was working at Wendy's, and you know, I'm around fast food and stuff like that, and you know, we're always Wendy's. They had a thing called Biggie Bag, you know, $5 Biggie Bag, whatever.
Yeah.
But then after that, I started seeing like Wingstop came out with Secure the Bag, like stickers, and I was like. At first, you know, my rap name was like simple, something real like that every rapper would say, like Young Eli. I was like, that's cool, but I mean, like, how many Young, how many Lils? How, you know, there's a bunch of there's a lot. So then, you know, I was like, how about I wanted to figure out a way to incorporate my middle name. I feel like that's something that's different, you know. But I didn't want people to think of Tupac, you know, because you know. Anything with Shakur, that's the number one thing anybody's going to think of is Tupac. So again, going back to Wendy's, Secure the Bag, I was like, okay. I was like, well, how about Shakur the Bag, Shakur the Bag, Secure the Bag. Kept saying it. I was like, boom. And it clicked. And at first, you know, everybody, you know, they would laugh. They're like, man, what the hell, you know? So like all around high school, they were like, Mr. Bag, Shakur the Bag, he's in the building. And, you know, I would just sit there. I'll be like, well, that's funny, but at least you know, at least you keep saying it. Keep saying it. And as they kept saying it kept hanging around. I was like, see, all y'all was laughing about the name, but now that's something that you guys think. And then as I changed my Instagram name to that, Shakur the Bag 02, and now that's just my alter ego, you know.
And now his name is Shakur Smith.
Yeah.
Right. So So most people, like, if you follow him on Facebook and follow him on Instagram, he took out the Elijah, and now it's going to be Shakur Smith. I guess he wants to go by the name Shakur now.
Yeah.
Which personally I love, because like I'm the one that gave him his middle name, and I love Tupac. I think Tupac was one of the most prolific artists of all time, and his messages is so deep to me that, like, you know what, I think it's great.
When I tell people my name, and I love my name, Elijah, I like it. I mean, the first thing that everybody says is, oh, I love that name. You know that name is in the Bible. I just love, really. I'm like, I like the name. I love it. But how many Elijahs do you know? You know a lot. And I was like, how many Shakurs do you know? But I mean, Shakur, I just feel like it's something different. And I want people to know me by that, so that they don't get too confused on who's Shakur the Bag. You know, I know Elijah Smith, but who the hell is Shakur the Bag?
Yeah.
So they see a Shakur Smith, and then they say Shakur the Bag. Okay, they're the same people. You know, because I have to, you know, although.
You got to get your two identities together.
Exactly. I don't want people to get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
And I think it's just cool. I like it. Shakur Swift Smith.
That's a good step.
That's how I'm gonna find out if you really know me. If you say, yo, Elijah, okay, you know me. But if you say Shakur, I'm like, okay, you
love me.
You know,
You love me. You love me.
Drop that beat.
Yeah.
Hopefully one of these.
I want to say while we jump into the song, I want to say thank you guys for being here.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
Thank you
the
so
engagement and the new baby coming up.
Yeah.
And it was a pleasure talking to you guys, hearing you guys' story. So I'm looking forward to getting this thing posted and having people just excited to hear it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Sure.
This
And excited about your next fight.
Yes. March 14th, baby. March 14th, we're back in Vegas at the UFC Apex, and we're gonna go out there and go put on another show, another performance for the fans. And you know, anytime that I fight, I always say, you know, I want to give the fans something to remember, and I felt like we were able to capture that with, you know, all three of my fights in the UFC. You know, all three of my fights have been exciting, you know, nail biters, wars, and also finishes. So, you know, I want to keep doing that, and just keep building up my brand, keep building up my name, and yeah, probably by the beginning of next year, or who knows, by the end of this year, you know, we start getting into the new contract and start talking about the rankings. Yeah.
So Gilbert and Elijah Shakur Smith, thank you for being on Go With Your Palate.
Yeah. Feel free to let some of those moves out.
Yeah.
You still got some more. What?
Turn it up.
Can you feel my pain? Walking in the rain. Yeah. Might go insane.